Well, another thing that Bob Hill won't change tonight is his starting lineup. Why would you? Is Avery Johnson, Vinny Del Negro, David Robinson, Sean Elliott, and Dennis Rodman. And likewise for Del Harris, the coach of the year, he will stick with his same five of Nick Van Exel, Anthony Peeler, Vlade Divac in the middle with the ice-cold Iceman, Cedric Ceballos, and Eldon Campbell up front. Ice is the nickname that Ceballos took with him from Cal State Fullerton to Phoenix because he grew up idolizing not Jack Nicholson but George the Iceman Gervin. And we now have our quorum. I think we are ready for the opening tip. On the PCA recovery report, Moses Malone remains there, and Sedale 3, the Lakers now say, will play no more in this series with that abdominal strain which he suffered late in the regular season and re-injured in his only playoff appearance in the first round series against Seattle. So the Lakers continue without their very effective backup guard, one of their few veterans. This is the youngest team still alive in the playoffs with an average age of 26. The Spurs, since they don't count Moses on their average age, are fourth oldest. With Moses, they are the oldest team in the league. They're also the winningest. 11 in a row, counting the 6 that they had to close the regular season. And if you go back to 2 months ago today, March 12th in Orlando, they dropped that game on national television, and since then they have lost a total of 2 games over a 2-month span. It's 26-28. And since Dennis Rodman became a starter on January 24th, they are 45-6. The numbers from game 2, better than anything he has ever put up as a Spur. The 22 points by 3, a Spurs career high, and the 22 rebounds, a Spurs playoff club record. Avery Johnson with a big 19-point game 1, 18.3 over his last 3. And Sean Elliott not happy with his shooting in this series. He's 29% on 6 of 21. And yet other people have stepped in, and they've been able, unlike the Lakers with Ceballos, to wait for Sean to come around, which he fully expects to do tonight. Ceballos did not play from the middle of the third quarter on, even in the overtime. Del Harris stayed with George Lynch. He says we can only go so far waiting for Cedric to regain his rhythm. If it's not there, we can't give up the game, waiting even for their leading scorer to come around. And Vlade Divac, who has had a few sleepless nights, he would admit, since missing those 2 free throws, ready to wipe out that memory.
I think that man right there, Divac, is going to be one of the most important guys for the Lakers tonight because he does so many things. He's a good, excellent passer, offensive post player, defender. If he plays inspirationally for his guys, I think it'll really help them. He's one of the older guys on this team.
Our officials tonight: Mike Mathis, Jack Nees, Don Vaden. Lakers control. Van Exel feeding the low block. Campbell double team this time. They leave Peeler alone, and it's 2-0. Anthony Peeler already has done what he failed to do Monday, hit a field goal. He was 0 for 3. Sean Elliott driving, dishing. Robinson rejected by Campbell, and Ceballos saves it off his own man, off Peeler. Spurs ball 6 on the shot clock.
Sean Elliott coming off of Robinson, picked up it back to Dave, and you see the traffic. He has 2 7-footers in there. He's trying to figure out where they're coming from that time. Campbell with the block.
Del Negro up quickly and way off with the jumper. Lakers have been out-rebounded in all but 2 of their last 20 games with a strong start on the boards tonight. And the Spurs hit with an illegal defense already, less than 1 minute into the game.
Immediately off a switch, Sean Elliott had picked up Van Exel. They were trying to clear the side to go one-on-one against Sean. Excellent defensive player.
Van Exel waiting patiently, now has Campbell. Turns away from the double team, gets his own rebound. And after the double clutch, Divac with the rebound. Ceballos on the drive, unable to snake past the Admiral. Same story for Cedric Ceballos. Rodman fouled by Peeler.
Zaballos trying to get aggressive to start this game, catches a Divac rebound and tries to take it into the paint. You see him shake on Avery, go through the lane, and Robinson's right there to bother the shot. Zaballos really just lost the handle.
Dennis Rodman, 10 of 13 from the field and 2 of 4 from the line with that 22-point line Monday. In 133 games as a Spur, he has never scored more. Not even close. Still 2-0. And in a minute and a half, Kobe, we've heard more noise than in the 2 regular season games combined.
Oh, yeah, I think the LA fans are taking a liking to this new bunch of Laker players. They're pumped up.
Del Negro steal rewarded with the feed from Avery Johnson, and Vinny at both ends creates the first bucket for the Spurs.
The Spurs have had very few transition baskets against this Laker team. They're very quick and they get back well.
Avery Johnson with the pick. Lakers not a particularly turnover-prone team, but a bad start tonight. Robinson fall away, rebound to Divac. Lakers with 5 of the 6 rebounds in this game. Ceballos fouled by Robinson. First foul against the Spurs. Well, tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, you can pick up your official I Love This Team t-shirt. These exciting t-shirts feature the entire team and Coach Bob Hill. And they'll be available at the Spurs shop, at the Spurs Fan Wagon in North Star Mall, and at upcoming Spurs home playoff games. Be sure to get your I Love This Team t-shirt starting tomorrow morning.
Good Mother's Day gift?
Absolutely. Stock up for Father's Day. Ceballos had the decent moments in the Seattle series, although he had a 2-point game to begin that series. He has been enigmatic.
Cedric Ceballos is not really a one-on-one player. He's an opportunity player. Sean's done a good job concentrating him on him off the ball, where he's so effective.
Wheeler very wary of the range of Del Negro, and the shot clock under 10. Lakers with the steal. Here comes Van Exel. 4 Spurs back. Van Exel to Ceballos. Wrap around reverse won't go, and it's off to Elliott.
Ceballos so aware of David Robinson.
Van Exel with the steal. And the pull-up 3. Rebound Divac in the putback. It's 5-2. Spurs want to get Sean Elliott more opportunities tonight. Not here. He's doubled. Rodman left alone, and the feed to Robinson.
Great awareness by Rodman as he stepped up to get an alley for Sean Elliott to pass him the ball. And then it was a 2-on-1, Robinson and Rodman against Divac.
Divac turning the corner, blocked again. David with a couple of rejections already. 4-on-3 break. Open to the corner, and Elliott can't drill it. Rebound by Campbell. He was never in a regular season or playoff game. He had more boards than he had Monday with that total of 18. So a very emotional start by LA, but only a 1-point lead to show for it. Van Exel almost lost his footing. Underneath, Divac blocked, and it'll be a shot clock violation. He didn't get it off in time, and it didn't catch iron. Del Harris, who engineered the second biggest improvement of any NBA team, only Dallas with plus 23, improved more than the Lakers plus 15 from their lottery season last year. Chance for the lead, just under 8 minutes. Robinson stays outside, hit that shot consistently in game 1, not since then. And a 1-for-4 start for David here. Pull-up 3, Van Exel.
Opportunity pick just coming down before they got into any kind of a set. Divac sets a quick pick for Van Exel. That's the kind of shot he wants to get consistently all night.
Divac way out, 40 feet from the bucket to defend Del Negro. In the Nicholson neighborhood. That's how committed the Lakers are defensively to stopping the Spurs outside shooting. They were only 35% themselves in game 2. Sean left alone, though, and can't make them pay with the 3.
Dennis Rodman appealing to the officials that Eldon Campbell was holding them on the rebound.
Dennis with enough space for his first ball. Robinson rolling open, almost stolen. Cut on the back door, Sean Elliott with his first 2. 8-6 LA. An excellent awareness by the Spurs on the cuts to the hoop. Couple of easy buckets. And a 3 for 9 start. Lakers only 3 of 10 from the field. Peeler spinning and missing. To midcourt, almost too tall. It was uncatchable for AJ. 4 on 2. Ceballos, a day and a half for the 3. And if that gets him going, Kobe, that could be for the Lakers the biggest shot of this series.
Well, it was off of Van Exel pass, off the turnover. He came down, he was looking for Ceballos. He knows he's got to get Cedric Ceballos going, and that's the kind of thing that good point guards do.
Avery off the pull-up and fumbled away by Van Exel, and we'll have timeout. With 6:06 in the first period, the strong start that the Lakers had to have in Game 3. They lead 11-6, and we continue after this from Southwest Airlines. Harris would make that a point of emphasis. Usually see Billy Crystal at the sports arena for Clipper games.
In terms of rebounding, Dennis Rodman has been hammering on the officials about Eldon Campbell laying on his shoulders, not letting him get off the floor on the rebounding. See if he gets any respect from the officials in that sense.
Rodman up for the pick, and then rolls underneath. Was open. Ball goes high instead to Robinson. Around Divac and over Eldon Campbell.
That time David Robinson had Divac and Campbell in his vision straight ahead, and he just was able to finger roll around Campbell. High priority on these 2 Lakers centers to not foul David Robinson. So it's a matter of David making good choices, getting the right plays, getting the right position.
Ceballos still searching for a streak. Del Negro rejected by Divac. Average better than 2 per game in the regular season. The pull-up on target by Eddie Jones, who comes in off the bench. The Temple rookie, 13-8 LA. Jones unleashed with 20 and 7 boards on Monday night. Cross court. Shot clock at 3. Elliott has to go lefty and misses against Divac's strong interior defense. That Exel back out. Jones will try the 3 and miss everything. Ceballos scoring the way he normally does. There's an opportunity too.
Well, Sean Elliott had missed the layup at the other end, was a little bit late getting back to Ceballos, and off the miss, Ceballos puts it back in. It's an opportunity basket, as you said.
8 rebounds per game during the regular year from small forward. Almost unheard of. The Robinson hook tip. No. Rodman stays after it. Divac pulls it away. Van Exel with the lefty scoop puts the Lakers up by 9. And Bob Hill wants time as the forum explodes. As loud as it's been since the Magic Showtime days. 4:05 in the first quarter. 17-8 Los Angeles. By 9, Greg Simmons is with NBA Commissioner David Stern. Greg?
Well, first of all, Commissioner, are you happy that Dennis Rodman has been behaving himself here lately? Very happy. I'm not as happy as the Spurs are, but I'm I'm equally as happy, I think. Let me ask you about the controversy surrounding Michael Jordan's jersey. What is the league going to do about that if he continues to wear 23?
You know, worry about it after the season. We don't want to let that interfere with the great basketball that's being played. We need some rules, but we need some common sense, too.
Does the fact that the Lakers feel like they haven't gotten a large opportunity of fouls called help bring you here as well?
No, not at all. Otherwise, I'd be welcome no place because everyone thinks that they get picked on especially.
All right. Commissioner, thank you for being with us. We appreciate it.
Thanks.
David Stern back to the booth, and David Kobe.
And a drive by Johnson. Baseline goes Elliott. The shot clock expires. Happened to both teams in this first quarter. Lakers with 6 straight to lead by 9. The Spurs have not led in this game. They have shot 4 for 15 from the field.
And those 6 points all came off opportunity baskets coming down the court. That won by Ceballos, an opportunity rebound. Not against the Spurs set defense.
Campbell strangely not taking part offensively yet. He is the lone Laker not to have scored. On the end line, turned over by Ceballos. Edward Ceballos elected as a Western Conference All-Star backup. Couldn't play in the game because he was in the process of missing a couple of months with a torn thumb ligament that came back in time to get going again in the regular season. Burn into the block by Campbell for Robinson. Uninspired Laker defensive effort. Van Exel misses on the drive, and the Spurs try to get a transition to. It's Johnson, and he'll be sent to the line by Eddie Jones. Second LA foul.
Another look at David Robinson taking Divac with a quick spin, but there's Elvin Campbell, who's not paying much attention to Dennis Rodman. The pass right there is around Campbell to Rodman. That's how Dennis got so many points in game 2.
So, Greg, and the commissioner touched on some of the Lakers' complaints about officiating. They sound vaguely reminiscent of Denver from game 1. But Sean Elliott had a very telling comment. He said, if you're given the call, this is a double foul. Elvin Campbell and Dennis Rodman hit with a double foul.
Dennis Rodman has been complaining about the high elbows, and we'll see as Rodman goes in the lane. See Campbell's elbow comes right up under Dennis Rodman's chin. Dennis takes exception, but gets the call anyway.
Well, Sean's comment was, if you're given the call to win the game and you miss both free throws with 4 seconds left, you can't say the officials lost you the game. Ceballos has a pair from deep. It has come alive. Offensive foul.
Well, when you get that call there, you're getting any call you want. It's Sean Elliott just coming down the court to set up, and Ceballos faked the defensive position right in front of Mike Mathis. I don't know if it'll come into the screen, but Sean Elliott just bumps into Ceballos, and Mike Mathis gives him the call. That kind of body checking going on everywhere.
Divac from 20. And the Lakers extend the lead to 12, 21-9. Nothing the Spurs have tried on this end of the floor has worked. And the Lakers have grown in confidence with every defensive stop. Avery Johnson in a mismatch, taking Ceballos in, and even that won't go. So it's 4 of 16 shooting now, 4 of 17 from the field. The step back 3 off Jones and then off Robinson. Laker ball. Well, to their credit, they have not shot lights out. You'd expect with this big a lead they would have, but they haven't. They have forged it in every other aspect of play. Even a bad pass goes well for them. Follow jam, waved off. It was goaltended by Jones. But you get an idea of the athleticism of this rookie.
Campbell with a little jump hook, the kind of shot he's been making. Jones obviously taking the ball over the top of the rim and just pushing it down. Really had a chance to fall in as it bounced around the rim. Jones up there using David Robinson's left shoulder to get up that high.
Lakers looking for the jugular with a half-court trap. Chuck Person in the game. Sean Elliott at last with some room to operate down there. 11 first-quarter points with just over a minute to go. As poor a playoff quarter as the Spurs have had. Jones. Lakers' highest scoring rookie since Magic Johnson in 79-80. 14 points per game. Got some Rookie of the Year votes. We're under a minute. Here's Chuck Person. On for Vinny Del Negro. In a matchup with a much smaller man, Jones. Elliott draws the foul. Well, it's time for the KSAT 12 Spurs ticket scramble. We're standing by to give away 100 prize packs. Each one has 2 tickets to the next Spurs home game and 2 Spurs Midwest Division Championship t-shirts. The first 100 callers at 1-800-933-5080 are winners. Call now, 1-800-933-5080. Big hand as Divac is replaced by Sam Bowie, the veteran in his 10th year from Kentucky. Foul was called on Ceballos. 45 seconds in the period. Then J.R. Reed is in to replace Dennis Rodman. Runner still won't go by Avery Johnson. 0 for 3 start for A.J. On the line, it's a 2 for Van Exel. He has 7, Ceballos 8. And they've carried the Lakers to their largest lead of the game, now 14 points.
Once again, an opportunity shot for Van Exel in the transition.
Unpredictable and deadly there. Willie Anderson in very early. Way behind the arc. Person just short for the 3. Campbell almost stolen by Robinson. The Lakers will have 6 seconds to work with. Before a terrific first quarter for them comes to an end. Absolutely what they needed. And what the Spurs feared, it has happened. Van Exel all the way. 40-footer. Good at the buzzer. And this place is up for grabs. On the bomb by Nick Van Exel to close the first quarter. 28-11 Los Angeles. We'll continue after these messages from Diamond Shamrock. Van Exel putting the perfect exclamation point on a near-perfect first quarter by Los Angeles. Ceballos setting the tone by hitting the wide-open three-pointer that took forever to go. From that point on, they seemed to feel like it was all going to go their way, and it did.
Well, Dave, for the most part, the Lakers are soft defensively. They back off. They're giving up jump shots that both Sean and David are having a difficult time with the confidence on those jump shots that Dave shot in the first game. That shot very well.
Doc Rivers on. Chuck Person stays in. He misses, and Robinson deposits it where the Spurs didn't spend a whole lot of time in the first quarter. With that, they are now 6 of 22 as a team.
If the Spurs can figure out a way to shoot better, can get that going, get their offense going, either make the second pass or come up with an offensive rebound, get some putbacks, then it forces the Lakers back into their half-court offense where I don't think they're as effective.
Doc Rivers called for the foul. Now defending on his opposite number, Jones. And Robinson with a one-handed rebound. Lakers stay with Bowie in the middle. Ceballos, Campbell with Jones and Van Exel. Reed against Bowie. Too quick for him on the turnaround. J.R. Reed with his first 2. Well, you can see why the Spurs said, well, let Eldon Campbell beat us. We don't want anybody else to. Eldon Campbell has not scored in this game.
Well, Eldon Campbell got doubled on the first opportunity, and he kicked it out to Peeler to make his Peeler's only shot. But Campbell shooting more like we see him during the course of the season, not really honed in on that basket with a turnaround shot. But it's really a one-shot-and-done situation. He doesn't pass off it. He doesn't create a lot of problems unless he's scoring it fairly consistently.
Reed blocked by Campbell. He has been active in that department, and a foul at midcourt by Chuck Person. Elton Campbell, an enigma. Lakers drafted him because they were intrigued with his talent. Late first-round pick in '90. They've never been able to get him to play as consistently as he did in the first 2 games of this series. But before Ceballos came over from Phoenix, he sat down and talked with him and said, "Are we going to get your best every night?" And was convinced he would. Or are they getting the best from this man? Hitting some ridiculous shots.
Well, we're starting to see the Van Exel that beat the Seattle Supersonics. Unguardable because he's capable of shooting it for anywhere on the court. You never know if you're close enough. See Van Exel getting down the court, finding a spot, even though it's a long ways from the basket. He's got his confidence.
I think we've got our winner in the Whataburger What a Shot contest, such as it was tonight. He puts it to rest with a perfect 10. Divac with a head of steam travels.
JR did a good job coming over and getting into Divac's way, and before the charge forced him to travel. Divac trying to take the ball off the dribble, Robinson off the dribble, and he sees JR standing in his way. He travels, turns it over.
Both teams have 6 turnovers. Spurs at a 29% clip from the field. Need Robinson to heat up. And he's off, and it's 1 and done. Ceballos will start the break and finish it to Bowie. A rare offensive contribution. Sam Bowie now 4 for 20 from the field in the playoffs. Eddie Jones thought this was incidental contact. It turns into his second foul. And a timeout with 9:33 in the first half.
Avery Johnson trying to run down this ball. Gets tripped up, knocked down by Eddie Jones. Tough call to get for Eddie Jones. Number 2.
9:33 to go in the second period at Los Angeles with its biggest lead of the game. 28%, 7 for 25, and the Lakers at 14 of 29 for 48%.
One thing to keep in mind, David Robinson, the first game substituted right before the first quarter. The next game substituted with about 4 minutes gone in the second quarter. And this game still 9 to go in the second. He's still in there.
Everything missing. Easy shots, tough shots. None of them are falling. When you look up, there's 3 minutes gone in the second quarter. They are stuck on 15 points. Who would have imagined it? Anthony Peeler misses the 3-pointer. Lakers strong on the glass. 21-12 advantage there. Robinson blows past Bowie, knocked away to Person. Johnson and Van Exel. Robinson. Bowie is no match. That's 8 for David.
That's the shot right there that he really struggled with in game 2. With in close, easy layup. That's the one he has to laugh off, but he's not going to play like that again.
Van Exel has Bowie rolling to the rim, and that's the way he's been shooting this entire postseason. 16% from the field in the playoffs.
Van Exel making a pretty good opportunity for Sam Bowie, but with Robinson in there, he tried to wrap it around the weak side of the rim. Couldn't get it there.
Sam Bowie closing out an injury-plagued NBA career. Reed gets Divac to land on him for his first foul.
First thing he does good is get Divac on his back right under the basket. At that point, Divac really had to foul him. But a good pump fake by JR.
Get your Rally's Hamburgers Spurs Coyote Cup at any San Antonio Rally's Hamburgers. This limited edition 32-ounce cup features the Spurs Coyote. Cheers with a purchase of the Texas Combo, which includes a Big Tex quarter-pound hamburger, large fries, and a large drink. This offer good only while supplies last. J.R. Reed, 3. One more free throw in this game, and he has 4, which puts him among the Spurs' top 3 scores. Jones looking to separate himself from Rivers. Can't do it, so it's Divac. Double team, back out. Peeler short on the 3. And Divac touched that one last. We haven't really focused as much on Peeler as we have Ceballos, but Peeler's another guy who has been nowhere in this series. He has combined for 8 points coming in and 2 in this game. He just now has double figures for the 3 games. Traveling force by Divac's good defensive position.
Good bounce pass from Avery Johnson. David Robinson unable to keep from traveling when Divac moved over quickly.
7-4 Lakers in points off turnover. Led by 18 at the moment by 14. And a long 2, too long by Vlade Divac. Bowie with the steal by Peeler. Even as cold as Sam Bowie is, he will hit that. And block that one by Johnson. AJ gets his feet back inbounds and gets the jumper up and no good. Tipped by Robinson. Johnson again will try and charges. How frustrating is this sequence?
Well, Avery Johnson missed the jump shot, so he tries to take it strong into Divac, who does a good job just faking the charge right here. As he jumps in, Divac falls back, gets the call.
Lakers one time, 6:50 in the second period, 35-19. We continue after these words from Southwest Airlines.
Can this team handle a loss? Yeah, they can handle a loss. They're not going to like it, but they will accept it the way they should, learn from it, and they'll keep growing. But you know, losing is just as big a part as this league is winning.
And I think you can extend that same thought to a game during the course of a game. As you get too high to start a game, as the Lakers have, can you maintain your composure during the course of the game? The Spurs obviously going to make a run at this young Laker team at some point.
A philosophy that has served Bob Hilton's Spurs extremely well all year. Robinson around Vlade Divac, and David starting to get a rhythm, has 10 points.
Once again, he's got in so close, and that's the shot that he had such a difficult time with in game 2. So far, the Spurs haven't done a whole lot to double team him after he's bounced it a couple of times.
Anthony Peeler, much better as a starter than off the bench, so Del Harris continues to start him, although through most of the season, Eddie Jones occupied that job. Dennis Rodman back into the game. 3 rebounds in the first quarter. Rivers lines up to 3. Rodman pulls it down. And is bumped by Van Exel in the deep corner.
Rodman gets Divac on his back here. You see how well Dennis moves as the play develops. He gets to the weak side where the ball is more likely to go, seals off as the ball comes long. He taps it to himself in the corner. That's Van Exel running by with a foul.
Robinson over Divac and Bowie. And David 6 of 12 with 12 of the Spurs 23.
Going down the court, David Robinson nodding to himself. Much better rhythm on that jump shot, even though he's still rattled at home.
But the Lakers continue to get the wide open shots on the perimeter they couldn't get in the first 2 games. The Spurs have got to do something about that.
I think Bob Hill will talk about their concentration coming down the court. That's where the Lakers are getting their shots before the Spurs really get set up. That's just a matter of hustling down and concentrating, closing the gap, not letting them have those opportunity shots as wide open as that.
Avery Johnson at last with a field goal. After an 0 for 5 start, 39-25. We're under 5 minutes in the first half. Ceballos back to work. Rivers out on Peeler. And Rodman gets tangled up with Bowie. Not a man he wants to foul by any means. That's his second. Absolutely no need to foul Sam Bowie.
And especially where he was on the court, Sam Bowie way out of his range as he's outside of the paint. You see Bowie catch it as Rodman has pushed him out. Catched it way out of his range, but Rodman called for that, getting that elbow in there.
twice by Campbell, who is still scoreless after dominating the ball and most of the points in their first 2 games. Ceballos now 3 of 8. Willie Anderson got a taste of action in the first quarter back in here. 4:20 left. Loose ball picked up. Ceballos. Showtime. And when you're trying to come from 18 down, you can't have that happen, obviously. Turnover's a major problem for the Spurs. Step back jumper. High arc. Not enough for the Admiral. And Ceballos, who averaged 8 rebounds during the season, has 8 in this first half. Van Exel fouled on the jump shot by a disbelieving Doc Rivers, who's hit with his second.
Van Exel once again coming down in the flow. 2 Spurs trying to concentrate on him. Doc Rivers going by, sticks the hand perhaps through the arms of Van Exel. Here's the turnover. Willie Anderson, as Divac jumps into his way, Ceballos takes it the other way for the dunk. It looked like Doc Rivers, as he will, stuck his hand right in between the arms of Van Exel and was called for contact. I'm sure Doc would be complaining if he really did tap him on the arm. The trick for Nick Van Exel as a point guard and an offensive player is to keep his concentration to score, but then he realizes he has to run this ball club. And that's the difficult thing for young guards making those decisions during the course of the game.
It's amazing how quickly he's learned that, because he admits he was intimidated in the running the team department last year. Veterans like Kurt Rambis, James Worthy on the team. Rivers gets his first 2. Robinson popping out the double team to get it out of Van Exel's hands. Divac cutting in with the feed from Peeler. 17-point lead. Lakers denying the Spurs any kind of run. Elliott stepping through the double team. Tip in Rodman. First field goal for the Worm. Now, most of his 22 points happened the other night. Not all of them. He got some passes when he was left alone. Got a lot of layups as well.
You saw Sean's attempt. That was through a double team where he stepped through. Rodman not being picked up on the weak side.
An inspired Cedric Ceballos. 13 points, 8 rebounds. The slump, at least for 1 half, is over.
That's twice now that Sean Elliott has missed a shot at one end and then not picked up at the other end as quickly as he usually does.
Count it for Robinson. Campbell's second foul, 4th against the team. Timeout Spurs, 2:34 to go. First half, Lakers by 16 in the Great Western Forum.
Top offensive players by the Lakers in a triangle. Here's Van Exel dumping it into Divac, an excellent passer and ball handler. As Sean comes down to help, he's leaving Ceballos. There's no rotation over to Ceballos. And so despite the fact that Sean gets back defensively, Ceballos hits the big 3. And boy, does that feel good for him. He has really struggled.
And one reason that Sean couldn't get back is because he was a good 4 or 5 feet behind the 3-point arc. He's on the arc. Maybe Sean gets a piece of that. 5th Laker 3-pointer. He has 2 of them. The Spurs searching for their first.
They call that spacing.
David Robinson with a 3-point play. And we saw it quite often when the Spurs, the few times the Spurs struggled during the regular season. All the offense seemed to come from David. The same problem has popped up here. He has 15, and the next high scorers have 4. Reed and Elliott. Over the back foul on Vlade Divac. His second.
Dennis Rodman has been lobbying the officials to get these guys off of his shoulder. Finally gets a call.
2:19 in the first period.
The way the Lakers are playing this game, where they're switching and trying to double team Robinson in close, they're really vulnerable to a great offensive rebounder like Dennis Rodman. But they have 2 big 7-footers who are playing Rodman rather than the ball, and he's trying to get them to get off of his shoulders.
19 first half. And 1 of 2 by David. Lakers have been contending for 3 days now. They don't get to the line enough. Only 2 of 4 for LA in this half. 5 of 9 by the Spurs, but it's just a footnote. Officiating a non-story tonight. Ceballos on the line for 2. A streaky shooter who has finally found the streak. He has matched Robinson with 15 points. All alone, Doc Rivers, and he gets the 3. And it comes with that the Spurs' second leading scorer with 5 for the game. 49-36, closest they've been in a while. In a long while. Lakers have been up by as many as 18 on more than one occasion. Final minute and a half of the half. Ceballos. Rebound number 6 by Rodman. Spurs not getting many running chances. The Lakers back here. Pull up. Rivers drills another one. He's always been able to find the vacuum, make whatever play was needed. Big baskets back to back, and they're actually a little worried and restless now in the form as they've cut the lead to 11. Campbell with his first points.
Just using his size, just jumped right into the chest of Dennis Rodman over the top of him.
Spurs hang it here, or even better, 13 or fewer, and they'll probably go to the locker room saying it could have been a whole lot worse. Three-pointer, Rivers starting to feel it as much as we've ever seen him feel it.
Well, it takes mental toughness, and when everything is not going well, guys that can step up and play well despite of it. Doc Rivers is that kind of mentally tough player.
And Exel, the offensive foul. The Spurs have cut it to 10. Will have the ball with 30 seconds to go. And they'll use their 20-second timeout. Doc Rivers, 4 of 5, 2 3-pointers. And 10 points in the second period. Difference of 5 seconds on the clock. Sean Elliott hard to the hole, and Robinson with the slam with 20 seconds to go, and the Spurs have cut the lead to 8. So the first half, considering what it could have been, almost a success for the Spurs. 5 seconds to go. Van Exel off the top of the glass.
Doc Rivers pushing Van Exel towards his left hand. Van Exel, a left-handed guard, throws one up high off the glass.
There is no difficulty factor with him. The tougher the shot, the more improbable his percentage goes that much higher. 45-footer by Elliott to end the half, but the Spurs, who are down 18, look very different from the Spurs, who currently are down by only 10. From Ceballos. But the thing to remember about Ceballos is, as hot as he was in that half, he can easily go just that cold in the following half. The Spurs banking on his streakiness reappearing in this second half. They got it down as close as 8 late in the second period. The chance to do the same here. Elliott is stripped point blank. Ceballos in a race with Del Negro is fouled, and both crash into the press table. With no hard feelings. One of the few playoff games where there have been no hard feelings from either team.
Sean Elliott trying to cross over the dribble right in front of Cedric Ceballos, who's got the hand out, takes it the other way, and Vinny Del Negro does a good job grabbing Ceballos and keeping both players from going into the crowd.
Cedric Ceballos during the entire regular season was under double figures only 3 times. In this postseason, he has been under double figures 3 times. And we talked about a little bit at the end of game 2. How much of his problems do you think can be traced to the fact that he's not the type of player you can run 4 or 5 plays in a row for to try to get going?
Well, I think that when he was effective in Phoenix, it was because those other offensive players made opportunities for him. But he is a great opportunity player. He catches and puts rebounds back and moves well without the ball. If he can get his shooting going, he can really fill it up. That's where he's really struggled. But he struggled in the first game against the Supersonics and then came back. Well, he's come back tonight.
David has his shooting going about as well as you'll see it. 20 points. Eldon Campbell too hard off the glass. He still has only 2. The Spurs can cut it further. 54-45 in the first minute of the third quarter.
I think the Spurs need to read the fact that Eldon Campbell's not shooting the ball particularly well. Stop double teaming him.
3 by Sean Elliott, a huge basket, and 3 Spurs with their hands extended into the air as that one hit nothing but net.
Well, that's the shot that Sean needs to get going. His outside game has not been good since the long layoff, since the little mini training camp. He didn't shoot particularly well against Denver. Didn't really need to.
3 of 8 so far tonight.
But the way the Lakers play soft, they play everything into the paint. He's got to get his outside game going.
360 spin, and it doesn't matter where Nick Van Exel is. They are all dropping. He has 18. All angles, all distances. 7 of 11. Johnson loses it for turnover number 12 against San Antonio. And a quick pull-up 3 again. There's no defending Nick Van Exel right now. 4 3-pointers. Elliott, as Ceballos took a tumble, unable to score over Divac and Van Exel even in the rebounding department. Stolen by Avery Johnson and picked up by David, thrown away by Robinson. Van Exel waved it off. He had carried the ball before the 40-footer. These are ridiculous shots. I mean, this is as good a shooting display as you will ever see from anyone.
Van Exel carried a lot of really, I'm going to show the Seattle Supersonics kind of attitude into that series against the Supersonics, and he just burned Peyton and the Supersonics real bad. I don't think he's really had that attitude until tonight, and I think he gets the energy from the forum and the Laker fans.
Vlade Divac becomes the first Laker with 3 fouls. And free throws have not been really a factor for either team.
Sean Elliott off the dribble, trying to get by Divac on the baseline. Divac called for the foul.
Sean responds with another 3. 8-point game, 59-51. So what the Spurs struggled to do for about the first 20 minutes of this game, they have now accomplished. It is a game again. Van Exel over Robinson. If any other Laker touches the ball right now, if I'm Del Harris, I fine him. They ought to just hand it to him and run away. Alley-oop, Elliott after a whistle. Cedric Ceballos' call for a hold, his second.
Ceballos trying to post, and trying to get in front of Sean Elliott. The pass from Robinson perfectly thrown over the top. Ceballos called for the foul.
AJ trying to make Van Exel work on defense. The Lakers have their first illegal defense warning on Eldon Campbell, and each team has 1 warning.
There's been a lot of opportunities to call illegal defense. They haven't, as the Lakers drop people below the free throw line regularly. They're playing very soft in the paint.
Nice drive by Johnson, rejected by Divac. Out for another 3-pointer, not quite this time for Sean. Rodman with rebound number 9 keeps this Spurs possession alive. Elliott, Robinson, 22. The lead is 8 again.
It's a couple times now Sean has gotten by Ceballos into the lane, and he's finding Robinson as the Lakers collapse. Another look at this. Ceballos, you see how far off Sean Elliott that Ceballos is playing. He's hoping that somebody will pick up Sean as he comes into the lane, as they did that time. He dished it to Robinson for the dunk.
Eldon Campbell, Rodman off his feet, and Eldon with an air ball. Can't get much worse than Eldon Campbell in this game. 1 for 6. Robinson, another slam in a series. And Del Harris, for the time being, has seen quite enough. Timeout, Lakers. 7:54 to go in the third period, and Elliott and Robinson have taken command. here in the third period. David with 24 points has brought the Spurs back to within 6.
Like they've been doing, and they got to get more aggressive on defense. He said, take it down their throats if you have to, and that's exactly what they've been doing in the third quarter, Dave.
18-point lead down to 6. Ceballos rebounds his own miss. 9 rebounds for Cedric Ceballos. Other Lakers clear out. Let him work on Elliott. Counted and a foul. And again, Cedric Ceballos with the play the Lakers have to have. 18 points.
First jump shot was just a miss. This is an all-star play right here as he pounds inside, pump fakes, gets under the defense, goes with a left hand off the glass.
Well, the Suns departed with him for #1 draft pick. Imagine with Danny Manning down if they hadn't made that trade. Frightening to think about. It's scary to think about a team that has that much offense. They can give up a guy who scores 22 points per game for a division rival.
Well, with Manning, they really had no room for Ceballos, and the guy that needs to play a lot, a guy that made the All-Star team.
Dennis Rodman fouled in the act of trying to put back. Eddie Jones, who has just come in time to pick up his third personal, team's third as well. Hustle staff. 3 guys who at various times have been the whole show in this one. Much the way Dennis was Monday. He has his 4th point. You see those things everywhere now in the playoffs. 1 of 2, 64-56. Game 4 at 2 p.m. Central Time Sunday afternoon. And if necessary, Game 5 would be Tuesday in the Dome. Time to be announced. Televised on First Choice pay-per-view in San Antonio. Rodman clearing the boards. Robinson. Single coverage by Divac. Del Negro wants the refeed. Shot clock becomes a problem. David with 1. No problem.
George Lynch coming across very quickly to stop David and force the jump shot. Dave had pretty good rhythm on that shot. Got it to go.
Well, living up to his own words, he has laughed off 6 of 26. 12 of 20, 60% in this game. That is just his 2nd foul, team's 3rd. No Spur with more than 2 fouls tonight, and only Divac and Jones have as many as 3 for the Lakers.
From the top, watch Sean Elliott fake down. It's Divac is looking to see if the double team is Cohen. When he goes strong, he catches Robinson a little bit out of balance and gets the bump.
So Divac again, and that time Elliott reaching in. 4th team foul against the Spurs.
The Spurs are waiting for Divac to make some kind of a play. Divac had to step away from the play because of Robinson's footwork, and Sean, probably a foul he didn't want to make, reaching, ends up getting Divac's arm because Divac was moving away from the basket, an unusual move. He was trying to step around Robinson's foot.
You know, Game 2 will forever, for the Lakers, be remembered as the game that Divac could have won but didn't on the line. But the other Lakers, to their credit, stepped up after the game and said it's not his fault because none of us, except for Eldon Campbell, played well enough. He had more chances than that one to put it away. Shouldn't have come down to those 2 free throws in their mind.
Really tough situations when you don't get rebounds off missed free throws. Lakers just reacting to the ball very quickly.
Divac fouled, and this could be the Admirals' 3rd. Chuck Person called instead, his 2nd. But for the first time tonight, the Lakers have the bonus.
Well, Robinson trailing Divac. You see Divac use his left arm to flail out at David Robinson, but the foul came from Chuck Person on the weak side trying to help. Levi's showing a lot more aggressiveness offensively here in the second half, trying to get himself involved.
And if I'm the Spurs, I don't mind that, because that means Nick Van Exel doesn't have the ball. Avery Johnson barely keeps it alive, but Del Negro can't, and it's another Spurs turnover. They're 14th.
Spurs have turned the ball over several times on outlet passes. That one, Rodman, just a little bit strong, threw it over Avery's head.
LA off turnovers, 15-6, a 9-point swing in an 8-point game. Every mistake becomes even more magnified. Van Exel finally misses. Levi's takes it away from Robinson. David had position. Van Exel for 3. And for Dennis Rodman, rebound number 12. Spurs now out-rebounding the Lakers after a very slow start, 29-27. Cross-court Person scoreless so far. Around the perimeter to set up a 3 by Denny Del Negro, who has only 2. Only 3 Spurs doing any offensive damage tonight. Robinson, Elliott, and Rivers. Ceballos. Offensive foul drawn by Rodman with a clenched fist to celebrate this call. It's Ceballos' third.
Ceballos one-on-one against Rodman. Dennis moving his feet very well, gets squared up and takes the charge.
So does that cameraman. Four and a half to go, third period. Both teams still looking for an advantage in the period. That will be for Robinson a foul he'll remember if he gets any more in this game. Because he certainly didn't mean for this to happen. It's his third.
On the outlet, Van Exel just gets in the way of Robinson. A lot of times officials won't make that call. A lot of guards will stop in front of people coming down the court. And a lot of officials would call that incidental contact because it's quite a ways away from the basket.
Van Exel had 17 Monday, only 2 points in the second half, and has proven that he is a two-half performer in this one. We see Terry Cummings for the first time, and David Robinson for the first time takes a seat on the bench. He played all 24 minutes in the first half. (68-58), right where we were at the half. LA by 10. Terry Cummings, guarded by George Lynch, who sees his first action. Fouls Cummings. Del Harris went with George Lynch for the entire fourth quarter in overtime Monday night. Showed a lot of confidence in it.
Terry Cummings with a little hitch in his shot, tries to dip inside Lynch, who's really off it behind his shoulder. Terry Cummings with his strength draws a foul.
Limited time for Terry during the postseason, getting about 6 minutes per game. During the regular season, went over the 17,000 career point mark and is among the top 48 scorers in the history of the league. Not bad in his 13 years. What the shooters are looking into. Dennis Rodman tried to go over the top for the rebound and is called for the loose ball foul. His third.
This foul is called by Mike Mathis from way behind half court as Campbell and Rodman are both locked up. Foul goes against Rodman.
Well, both teams at least spreading around the fouls. Nobody has more than 3. And is still upset with this call. Willie Anderson has seen action in all 3 quarters. He comes in along with Doc Rivers. The missing man tonight is Elvin Campbell.
Whoa.
Tough to make those free throws.
That one got a grown from me and most of the forum.
They might need to check the backboard for cracks. Let's go to Greg Simmons.
John Anderson right now is working on David Robinson. He has a cut on his right forearm. He came out of the game. Anderson immediately started working. It's not too deep of a cut. It's just having a little trouble stopping the bleeding on the right arm. Though should bandage it up. He should be okay.
Under 4 minutes now in the third. Cummings with a lot of confidence for a guy who has just come into the game because David has that cut.
TC never lacked for confidence. What he needed was to back away from Campbell, the bigger player, and shoot over the top with the nice touch.
Out of the hands of Van Eyck. Lynch unable to save it to friendly hand. Here comes Cummings, almost stolen by Van Eyck. Open three. Person needs one, still scoreless. Terry Cummings battling underneath off of George Lynch, and it still belongs to the Spurs. Lynch had career playoff highs, 13 points, 8 boards, 27 minutes on Monday.
Well, shooting well matters. Doc Rivers does a great job keeping Van Exel from stealing that pass by reaching out. Chuck Person with the kind of shot he needs to make. Unable to get that one to go.
Extra pass by Rodman, stolen by Ceballos. Here comes Van Exel ahead to Lynch. A nice catch and lays it in. Van Exel had to put that pass where Lynch awkwardly reached behind him, and he did it very fluidly. 4-point swing where the Spurs could have cut it to 6. Anderson is long. Saved Ceballos. Again to Van Exel. Tripped up, but keeps it alive. Lakers showing some toughness of their own as the Spurs have refused to let this blowout stand. Cummings right into the path of the Jones pass. And almost jammed by Anderson. Carey attempting much too long a finger roll. Campbell. Eddie Jones. This crowd, like they do for Van Exel, really feeding off whatever Eddie Jones puts together offensively.
Well, that was a pretty spectacular hang shot where he got up, hung in the air for a little bit, and ended up making the shot.
Doc Rivers draws the foul. And Exel's third, team's fifth, in a timeout. 2 minutes exactly to play in the third period. Eddie Jones has given the Lakers a 12-point lead at 73-61. Rivers on the line, 2 minutes to go, third period. 73-62, Doc with 11 points. Had 4 buckets in the second period, as many as he had in the previous 3 games combined. He always has the sense of figuring out whatever contribution is needed. And tonight it was offense. More often than not, it's been defense where he has made the key plays for this team down the stretch. Robinson remains on the bench. Campbell moving on Terry Cummings, and he draws a foul. And David, no doubt, will rest the rest of this period because it's the only rest he's had in this game. This foul on Terry Cummings. Campbell had averaged over his career in the playoffs about 1/4 the points and rebounds that he's averaged in this series. But tonight, truer to form.
And I don't know that the Spurs are doing anything different on him. He's just not making his shots. He doesn't have that little turnaround shot which sets up his inside hooks, things that he takes into the rim.
Offensive foul on Doc Rivers, his third.
Doc Rivers off the pick and roll by Chuck Person. Ceballos lets him go. Eddie Jones hangs in tough and takes the charge.
Pretty key stretch here. Final minute and a half. Little run. Lakers get it back up to 16 or 18. The fourth quarter would be very tough. Not there for Campbell. Spurs get a little run of 4-6 straight. Fourth quarter could go either way. J.R. Reed in. Bounce underneath. Cummings. Out of bounds off Van Exel. Really pretty close to a 3-second violation that time. So Van Exel probably bailed him out. 1:05 to go in the period. 11 first quarter points by the Spurs. 32 in the second. Chuck Person still looking to score for the first time. Now 0 for 4. San Antonio from the field 42%. Lakers 48%. Spurs have never led in this game. No closer than 6 since the first quarter. Ceballos, double team, turns it over. Loose ball foul as Lynch collides with Doc Rivers. George Lynch is hit with his second. So Doc committing the foul at one end and drawing it at the other. 36 seconds in the quarter.
Doc Rivers with some great hustle retrievals of the ball in that game 2. Didn't shoot the ball well in game 2 as he has tonight. But boy, did he come up with some big plays. Just coming up with loose balls. He reacts very quickly and completely commits his body to going after the ball as he did that time. Drew the contact.
Would you say that as guards go, from an effort standpoint, he is to guards in this league what Dennis Rodman is to forwards?
Well, at this point in his career, he and this guy knows how to play. He's very quick decider. He's been a starter. Played at a very, very high level, and so he comes in and plays like he's not going to play the entire game. He can commit more energy.
Lynch. Almost a spectacular finish, and the Lakers wondering if perhaps Person goaltended. He didn't, but he is called for the foul.
Without David Robinson, the Lakers trying to take the ball to the rim. Here's Lynch with a finger roll.
Close to a goaltend. George Lynch missed about a quarter of the season with a stress fracture of his right foot. It's his first injury ever, college or pro. Never heard of North Carolina. Sean Elliott back in, got the Spurs off to a promising start in the third quarter with back-to-back three-pointers. Several times within 6 points. Difference of about 2 seconds on the clock. Rivers, the leaner, no good. Wanted to draw the foul on Van Exel. Long pass. Ceballos misses the finger roll. Tapped out to Campbell. 3 seconds. And a whistle. And it will be Spurs ball. I'm not sure what they call here. No foul call. The Spurs will have 2.8 seconds to work with. They just get it back, and they get Robinson back in the game. Chuck Person, 3/4 of the court to survey. Robinson turns, gets the 3 off. Tipped by Reed. No, they say. Not in time. So the Lakers will take an 11-point lead into the fourth quarter. All right, Greg, the Spurs have not been in this position at all in the postseason. They have not lost the postseason. Denver series, Denver very rarely led, and only late in game 2 did the Lakers have as much as a 5-point lead. As many as 18 points in the first half of this one. Spurs have made it competitive, but still a lot of work ahead of them with 12 more minutes in which to accomplish it if their hopes of a second consecutive sweep are to remain alive. Forum crowd, 17,505, noisy throughout. And they give the Lakers Lakers a boost to begin the fourth quarter. Stripped by Doc Rivers. And the Lakers with 6 on the shot clock.
Great defense by Rivers, just playing the spin move of Eddie Jones, and as soon as he stuck the ball out, knocked it out of bounds.
Divac will take the occasional 3. And Rivers with a board. Avery Johnson, 1 of 7 3-points. Elliott guarded by Lynch. Throws it away. Yet another Spurs giveaway. That's 18 for the game. But they've only really seemed to have an offensive rhythm a couple of stretches. And they were at their best early in the third period. Lakers called an early timeout, kind of caught their breaths. And the Spurs haven't really recaptured that rhythm since. Off the foot of Robinson. Again, the Lakers with 6 on the shot clock. 20-second timeout called here by LA. 6 seconds on the 24-second clock. Jones back from Divac. Over Robinson. Barely draws iron. Rebound number 9 for the Admiral. It's J.R. Reed spinning on Divac. Great catch by Elliott. Almost another turnover. Lynch up tight on him. Too tight. And George Lynch called for his third.
It's just too easy for Sean Elliott. He's so quick with the ball. See him coming up a little bit banged up here as George Lynch sticks a knee out there. And Sean goes down hard. But those are the kind of fouls you need to consistently take that contact. Get George Lynch into foul trouble. He'll have to back off.
Reed open outside. And just as you said, they continue to get good looks outside. And they will until they start hitting some of them. 40% for the game. 35% the other night. They didn't give themselves great reviews in game 1, but they shot well. 54%. Van Exel starting to cool just a bit. Breakaway pass intercepted by Jones. Nice catch of a high feed from Campbell. Almost snakes that one in. Divac draws the foul. On Robinson, it's his 4th.
David Robinson telling Jack Mees he didn't think this was a good call. It was called from pretty far away. As the ball goes weak side to Eddie Jones, who tries to snake one from underneath. And then Divac comes away with it. We'll see whether David Robinson gets any part of it. What he got was the left hand as Divac put his hand out. We'll see if got another look at it from underneath. Watch Divac put it up with his right hand. And then it's his left hand that makes the contact with Robinson.
9:58 in the fourth quarter. No score in this quarter.
Welcome back to the Forum. Bad news for Laker fans tonight. Chick Kern has actually had to go home tonight. Now, his current consecutive game streak has not been broken, even though he started the game, of course. He couldn't finish at 2,781 games. Dates back to November 1965. They say he's had a case of laryngitis. He's also been battling bronchitis as well, but he has now had to leave the Forum and go home as a result of his illness.
And the Ford game summary. David now with some foul trouble to worry about. 11-game winning streak on the line for the Spurs. 6 in a row regular season, 5 straight postseason. Divac has 10, the lead is 13. So the Lakers have been able to creep it back up. I don't know about you, I can't comprehend 2,781 straight games. That goes back to 1965 since he last missed a broadcast.
I can comprehend being in high school in Riverside, California in '65. Listen to the Chick Hearn do the games. It's a little vague, a little fuzzy, but I remember.
Traveling on Divac. A turnover forced by the trap by Rivers. Well, the Spurs with 9.5 minutes to do something with a 13-point deficit. 3 of their 5 postseason wins by double figures, an average margin 14 points per game. Stolen by Lynch. Breakaway, Eddie Jones. They have found their second win. And the Spurs will need an incredible finish now to come from 15 back. Elliott draws the foul, slashing in toward the hoop.
Once again on George Lynch, trying to play Sean close. We'll see the turnover as Eddie Jones runs the ball down, or that's Lynch who kicks it ahead to Eddie Jones, and Robinson trying to get back into play. But Eddie Jones quick enough to stay ahead of one of the quickest centers to ever play, David Robinson.
John 4 for 11 from the field. A pair of threes, 11 points. So 10 for 32 for the series. More of a defensive contributor so far than offensive. 80-67. Until this series, the Spurs in the postseason in 4 previous series with the Lakers had beaten them a total of twice. And coming into this one, 4-14, the all-time playoff record for San Antonio against Los Angeles. 2 first-round wins, 2 Western Conference final wins in the 80s. Divac the long 2.
David Robinson having to come off the help as Lynch tried to go to baseline, and that gave Divac enough room for the jump shot. Important shot for the Lakers.
Robinson, after his own miss, up strong and fouled. He's done it mostly from the field tonight, 12 for 23, only 2 of 3 free throws. Again, this shirt available beginning at 10 a.m. tomorrow at the Spurs shop, at the Spurs fan wagon in North Star Mall, and at all upcoming Spurs home playoff games. Your I Love This Team t-shirt available beginning tomorrow morning. Timeout call with 8:12 to play, and the Lakers in charge as they have been all night.
Ed O'Bannon, UCLA, of course, all the talk is where are you going to go in the NBA draft? Where do you think? Do you have a feel for it?
No, not at all. I feel as long as I get drafted, you know, that's what I want.
I don't think you'll have a problem there, but there's been also some talk that maybe Toronto, would you mind playing for an expansion franchise?
No, I don't mind playing for anybody. Whoever picks me up, I'll be happy to play for and contribute some positive things. That's my goal.
Obviously from LA, what do you think about the comeback by the Lakers tonight in Game 3 against the Spurs?
Well, the Lakers are playing great. You know, they're a great team, very well coached, and I think they all enjoy playing with each other, and they look like they're having a good time.
Good luck to you in your pro career.
Thank you very much.
Ed O'Bannon back upstairs, David Coby.
Setting realistic goals. I think he will get drafted. I'm going to say that.
You're going on record?
Way out on the limb. David, 28 points, 82-69.
Spurs starting to show some trap in the backcourt.
Might as well.
This Laker team beat an excellent trapping Seattle Supersonics team because they all passed the ball very well.
And Axel can't find the three-point range he showed earlier. Alley-oop. Robinson from Avery Johnson.
Bold play from Avery Johnson, kind of play that you need to climb back in the fourth quarter on a road playoff game.
Rivers with the steal. Spurs can get it down to single digits here. Elliott wide open, just misses the three. Would have been a very big basket with 7.5 to go.
Also a bold play, but the kind of play you need to make. And Sean made the right decision, just couldn't get it to go.
Well, if they go down, it won't be without a few more swings. And interesting that again, Cedric Ceballos on the bench in the fourth quarter while others do the work. Vlade Divac up to 14 points. George Lynch, as he did Monday, getting the crunch time minutes at small forward. Unlike Monday and Saturday, Ceballos had it going in this one, 19 points. Illegal defense on Divac's technical foul on the Lakers.
Another look at the alley-oop. Avery Johnson coming down. He's got it on the wing. Robinson running the other side. The ball perfectly thrown. Robinson throws it down. Another look at this as Avery Johnson almost no looks it, trying to look away the defense, although there wasn't much defense for that play.
Shaw unable to hit the technical. Just as we talk about him, he reappears. Ceballos back with 6:54 to go. (84-71). Lakers led by 10 at the half, 17 at the end of an 11-point Spurs first quarter. Rivers well behind the arc. Rebounded by Eldon Campbell. And the Lakers probably in no hurry. Their half-court set with 6.5 and counting. Divac shot clock at 5. And Exel's leaner, even too tough for him. Oh, almost a spectacular save by Jones. Now watch what he does here. He makes a one-handed catch and almost a behind-the-back pass in one motion. Look at this.
One of the best athletes on the court tonight, Eddie Jones, almost able to save that play.
Robinson turning on Campbell. Can't power it up. Knocked away and fumbled away by J.R. Reed. Story of the night. 21 turnovers. And a 23-6 edge in points off turnovers by the Lakers. 17 points there in a 13-point game. We're stuck on 71. Reed with his first foul, second against the team.
Mike Mathis warning both players. Little contact after the foul. You see Campbell and Reed battling, then JR, as he did so effectively in game 2, goes for the ball, catches a lot of arm. Campbell takes exception. Two of them jawing at each other. Mike Mathis putting a stop to it.
They are from the Karl Malone school of low post defense. Not a shot blocker, so that's how he makes his defensive stops. .39 to go, and again, if there is a game 5, barring the miraculous comeback Spurs are trying to put together, it'll be Tuesday night in the Dome. Start time still TBA. We do know game 4, a 2 p.m. start San Antonio time, Sunday afternoon. NBC will have the telecast. Spurs radio network on the air, flagship WAI beginning at 1:30 Sunday. Campbell under control, but several other leaks have sprung up. Lakers have led from the opening tip. David Robinson does well to stay in bounds and then draws Vlade Divac's 4th foul. Team's 3rd. And Odell Harris does not want to see a chance for the Spurs to score with the clock standing still at 5:24. Well, Harris has proven all the doubters wrong. No one thought he could relate to a young team, motivate a young team. This was a team in such disarray they did not respect the likes of Magic Johnson last year. They sent him running from the coaching profession pretty much screaming. And Harris, the coach of the year. 3-pointer Ceballos. 22 points. Timeout. 5:05 remaining. As game 3 more and more looks like a lost cause for the Spurs. 22 Lakers, 5:05 to go. Down on the sidelines, Greg Simmons and Charlie Sheen. Greg?
All right, with Charlie. Now, Charlie used to be a big Spurs fan when Frank Rakowski was there. How about now with the Spurs?
Well, I still follow Frank's career because we own a ranch together in Montana, you know. Of course, he'll tell you he owns the majority of it, but that's just not true. No, I just love sitting down here and being a part of the action, the excitement. I was recently engaged. This is my fiancée, Donna.
Congratulations.
And, you know, I'm a Laker fan, you know.
Well, we wish you the best and hope to see you in San Antonio during the playoffs.
I might be back.
Okay, we hope so. Appreciate it. Charlie Sheen, and another bachelor bites the dust in Hollywood.
Boy, you could make a lot of money if you had bet that Charlie Sheen was ever going to get engaged. Turnover, 4:43 to go. 22nd Spur turnover tonight.
Once again, Eddie Jones with the quick hands as Sean Elliott tried to go by Van Exel in the corner.
Ceballos to Divac over Person. Robinson clears. Avery Johnson runs. Back pedaling is Van Exel. Avery around it out. Tip no by Robinson, but he stays after it. Back up strong.
David looking around for the foul. Thought he was definitely hammered.
Well, again tonight, in apparent defeat, he's played like an MVP. And for most of the game, he's been out on an island offensively. Very little help. For a period, Elliott, and for a while, Doc Rivers. Alley-oop, Campbell.
Divac with the great pass to the weak side.
Lakers match their largest lead at 18 points. Avery, the 18-footer, he's hit consistently in the playoffs. Eddie Jones fouled. With 3.5 to go. The celebration in full swing in the Great Western Forum. Lead of the game is now 20. With under 3.5 to go. Sean Elliott has 14, and you wonder if Bob Hill now starts to clear the bench and rest up for game 4, which comes in just a day and a half. It's going to come very quickly. This is a jump ball. Between Vlade Divac and David Robinson. Bill Harris starting to clear his bench with Tony Smith, replacing Nick Van Exel, who departs with a standing ovation and 25 points. 8 assists. The very guy, Kobe, you talked about in the open that the Spurs did not want to allow to get unleashed. Robinson and a foul by Divac. Although a lot of what Van Exel did was indefensible.
Well, he can get it going, and you cannot predict where he might shoot it. Here's Avery Johnson. He's had a difficult time finding lanes to the basket, dumping to David Robinson. Divac just trying to get out of the way. Still called for the foul. But I thought Van Exel did an excellent job keeping Avery Johnson in front of him as well defensively.
David Robinson has a playoff high 34 points. Close to half the Spurs total tonight. Spurs had averaged over 106 points per game, so the Lakers have put together a pretty monumental effort defensively. About 30 below what they had averaged here. Robinson nowhere to go, had to throw that one somewhere, and it's turnover number 23.
Chuck Person, Sean Elliott, and Doc Rivers trying to get down the court as they should. David Robinson lost his balance, and the only guy he had to throw to was Avery Johnson. Didn't have a good angle.
Dennis will take this lying down.
He most probably has a heat pack. I'm not sure what his problem is right there. He's hurt. Just disgusted.
Or maybe both. They had some back spasms in the early part of game one. J.R. Reed called for the foul. What did Bob Hill say not long ago? This team can deal with losing because they've been an even keel team even with all the winning, the incredible winning. That's gone on for the better part of 6 months now. 11 losses since early December. Nice steal by Avery Johnson. And Elliott sets up the three-pointer. Right back to him. Rivers, a long three, comes up short, rebounded by George Lynch. We hit the 2-minute mark. And game 3 will go to the LA Lakers. The Spurs will lead the series 2-1, and the Lakers will look to knot it on Sunday afternoon and send it back to the Dome all even at 2 apiece. This by Tony Smith. And from midcourt, Mike Mathis calls a loose ball foul on J.R. Reed again. Bill Harris gets the win, but a lot of people, even in L.A., had to wonder if the Lakers had in them. Not that they were playing particularly poorly, but the Spurs for so long have been almost impossible to deal with for everybody.
I think they called a double foul, Dave, on Divac, and JR got locked up after the play. That's Divac 6, and he's out. Played an excellent game. They went to him a lot there in the second half. He's a veteran player, of course, from European basketball, used to playing in big games, and really got his offense going and his passing going in the second half.
Marco Cabana crunch time numbers there. Divac departs with 14 points, 13 rebounds. Ceballos has 10. Robinson 13 boards, Rodman 12, and Elliott 8. Air ball to Sam Bowie, who will finish this one up. And the Lakers we haven't seen tonight, Antonio Harvey and Anthony Miller. And only Jack Haley and Julius Mosu have not seen any action for the Spurs. Stolen by Johnson. Doug Person finally on the board and will go for 3. Crowd chanting, "We want Nick." They've seen quite enough of Nick, I think
they're keep chanting, "We want Pig," which is a nickname
that
for...
would make more sense. That's Anthony Pig Miller. That would make
Pig
more
Miller.
sense.
You can call me Pig, but don't call me Anthony, I think I read somewhere. Unusual choice. There he is. There he is.
Thanks for clearing that up. I couldn't for the life of me figure why they wanted Nick Van Exel again.
You can call me Pig, just don't call me Anthony. Or Tony, I would imagine.
Timeout, and I bet they're going to get the Pig with 58.2 seconds.
Putting the ball up wherever, and I thought he gave a lot of confidence to his teammates. Finally got Ceballos going as well.
Well, they didn't get Pig, so they continue to chant for him. The Lakers call for a 10-second violation. Tony Smith didn't get it over the timeline in time. Spurs apparently will close the game with Anderson, Del Negro, Elliott, Reed, and Person. And I've got to think Elliott is out there just to try and regain some shooting rhythm. 5 of 15 in this game. That's a pretty nice looking hoop. He has 16 points. 92-82. Well, if somebody can pull a Reggie Miller, this thing's not over.
Been done, hasn't it?
Here's Eddie Jones to try and make it an impossibility. 30 seconds. 3-on-1 break. Anderson called for traveling. He tried to set the feet for the three-pointer. For the Spurs, it is their first defeat in a month and only their third in a 2-month period. Even the best of the Lakers Showtime teams rarely had stretches like that one. But tonight, this young Laker team, the youngest still in the playoffs, has looked like the Showtime edition as they take a 92-82 victory. Another 10-second violation. They again don't get it across the timeline in time. And a second is restored. We still have 2.3 left. Person, a 3 at the buzzer. So the Lakers take game 3 by a final count of 92-85, and the Spurs lead 2-1 with game 4 coming up on Sunday afternoon. Leading by as many as 20, Del Harris and his Lakers coasting from the first quarter on. They were up 28-11 after the first 12 minutes. We'll return to the Great Western Forum for a wrap-up 92-85, the final for the Lakers.